Hey, and thank you so much for finding the time to chat to me today. My name is Eugenia Liberty, and I'm an international pleasure and intimacy coach. I typically work with strong and independent women in helping them to create incredible life. So I have been working with Nicole for a few months, and she kindly agreed to share her experience of us working together and how her life have evolved since then. But before we begin, Nicole, why don't you introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you do and anything you'd
Yeah,
like us to know.
amazing. So my name's Nicole, or Nix, in the capacity Eugene and I met in. And I say that is really important because in the work I do, I tell stories in many mediums. So mostly with the body. I'm a performing artist. I also work at a drama school in the UK, and I work with international storytellers. So it's very important to me um, that we all know how to claim our identity, and whether that's through the stories we tell, or the way we introduce ourselves, or the words we allow into or out of our bodies as an instrument, but also as a vessel. Really, most of my work is around ritual and ceremony, various scales and sizes, but that is mostly what I do. I do live on a canal boat, and I say that because it's important. It's a huge piece of my identity, that I am constantly in service of water, of the water within us, or the literal water of this world, or the feelings people are moving through, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's sort of the elevator speech of what I do and who I am. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And there's so much more to you
Yeah, like all
than
of us, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Nicole, what have inspired you to start working with me? Because that was quite a wonderful experience.
Yeah. So just complete honesty, and people can take this as they will, but like truly spirit inspired me to start working with Eugenia. We met in a really aligned context, and I was going through a really difficult time. And I sort of, for the first time in my life, actually cast a net just to my community. Um, and I just like literally set out a blanket text that said, I'm really not doing well and I could use some help. And even in that, it feels like that was the first step of working with you, like me just being courageous enough to be like, I do need help, and then you need to sort of walk through the portal. Um, and also it just felt, I can see this in hindsight, that working with you as an intimacy coach, because I didn't really seek Eugenia out for that. I think it's important that I name that, like, you helped me refine the intimacy with myself, and
Mm,
that in turn has shaped other things. Um, because I'm a person who likes to be in service of others.
mm.
Um, and I didn't realize how deeply I had been craving service to me. So I don't know if that's a okay answer, but yeah, that was the path.
Oh, that totally makes sense
Yeah.
because really, when we connect with ourselves in a level that we wish to be connected with others, it's like there's all of the paths opening up.
Yeah, absolutely. And paths I didn't know I was already on, but
Mm,
I was so distracted in the other that I couldn't see where I was walking. I work with the tarot, and I have a tarot deck, and the devil card is a brambly path. And when I first started, it's the deck I taught myself on. So when I was first learning about that, I didn't really understand. And not that we can ever really understand esotericism, like we're always unfurling it, but the more I learn about myself, it's like, oh yeah, that is what it is. It's like when you're so focused on the brambles on the path, you can't actually see, like, you are on the path. And it sounds so simple, but that's been such a beautiful part of this work. Many, many beautiful parts of this work. But this sort of yeah, like affirmation, I suppose, of me being me.
mm,
Like I can just be in the body I'm in. I don't have to seek her anymore. It's actually, it goes this way, not that way.
mm. Oh my God, I so love hearing that. So
Yeah,
love
I
hearing
like saying it.
So tell me, what has been like some of your highlights of our work together?
Um, First thing that's coming to my heart is the relationship we've built, and I don't know how like professional or colonial that sounds, but I am an anti-colonial maker, so I think it's important to me. But I didn't realize how deep the women wound I had was. And that's been really special. That's been really beautiful to allow somebody to allow somebody in. Um, that I didn't know that like I've met in community, and I think that that was it's shaped so many of my the word that's coming through is like vines, like the vines of my friendships I have elsewhere, including again with myself and my ancestors in my line. Um, and also the what has been such a highlight, like the depth and breadth of everything we've been doing. Like sometimes it's writing, and sometimes it's meditation, and sometimes it's just letting me chat for an hour, and sometimes it's activity and homework. And I feel so blessed that I've been again allowed to see myself in a fully three-dimensional way, as like the body is a vessel for healing, which means you have to get at it from every direction. Um, and what else? Honestly, the other thing that's coming out is it's been quite fun. Like it's been not without frustration. And I will say, I said this in our last session, I had a very deeply physically, emotionally, like all of the frustrations all like kind of tangled into one knot in one session. But even that has been joyful. It's been a really like beautiful, joyful, fun experience to be like, oh, I can hold these things, because I think there's also a lot of rhetoric around the healing world right now about like, oh, I'm on my healing journey. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to live my fucking life, and there's some stuff going on. Like, and that's been really nice that like I don't feel like I had to step away from my life to heal. I've been able to again stay on the path. Is kind of the spiral I keep coming back to. And when I get tangled, Eugene has been there, and then when I'm tangled without her, I've got her in my head in a really nice way, which is special. Yeah,
Oh, that makes me feel so good.
it
You know,
should.
some of my clients say they just like, whenever they're in some sort of situation, they're like, what Eugenia would do.
Yeah, I do this. I'm like I want to get like a little bracelet made, or like a lipstick pin or something, and just like put it in my I've got a medicine pouch that I wear pretty often. And I was thinking, I was like, I need a Eugenia medicine in there. It's like, it's like remember. It has to be shiny though. I don't have any shiny things around. I'll have to get something. Yeah.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant. And since then, you have really blossomed, like since you started like uncovering and opening up those parts of yourself, like in
Yeah.
our sessions and in your life, you have really blossomed in other areas of your life.
Yeah, definitely. So since we started working together, I think I think the most obvious place I have been blossoming is at my money making job, which is at this university. And it's a very male dominated environment, and it's a very I mean, it's academia, which I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be in the academic world. However, and I don't think this is a secret, anyone who's even touched a school ever knows that like it's a very rigid set of things, of standards, of contexts. And I have been realizing how much I have internalized at work. That's just not mine. That's just not mine because first of all, I think because I'm a woman. Second of all, because I'm a migrant woman. And third of all, because I have grown up in an environment where swallowing shit has been it's about men versus what I am saying is that like since I've learned to step into like my own softness, like the things that make me me, and sort of like extracting all of this stuff. I call it emotional shrapnel when I work with my students. Like these kind of little bits have been rising to the surface where I'm like, ugh, why would I keep that in there? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would I
Yeah.
hang on to this forever? Yeah, so that's been so like at work. Yeah, like my job work, I'd say, but then my work, my like spiritual practice, my creative practice, I've become so much more unapologetic. So- and I think that's deeply because I can see who I actually am. There's no, it's almost like if you shake a snow globe, you know what I mean? Like everything is settled. I'm like, oh, I can see who I am And I
Mm-hmm.
also have been giving myself permission to be slow enough to see who I am. That like I've we chatted a lot about this. Like I'm a naturally organically quite slow person. Like I'm very smart, I'm very quick-witted and clever, but like my physical body, like my metabolism is slow and I need a lot of rest. And I am always like 3 to 7 minutes late for things because like I am a slower person, and allowing myself the permission to feel like, no, you can wait. Does that make sense? Not in a way where I'm like taking advantage of people or being disrespectful, but something I'm trying to like stay around the question, but like I've become so much more confident in who I am in the room, and knowing that like other people, my mom used to say it to us growing up, like what other people think of you is none of our business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an acting thing as well. Like I work in the theater, but also it's been this thing where I'm like, how you process me is none of your business, is none of my business. Right. I don't need to be responsible for how you process who I am. And that's been really, really beautiful. And my partner, or my husband, he's been saying as well, he said in the car the other day, how much I've changed. Like I feel how he feels like he's gotten me back. Uh, and I've been doing a lot of work. And I also think that a lot of that was like truly jump started by the work that we've been doing, which is
Mm-hmm.
special. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
so, so, so special. And it's incredible when other people notice those
Mhm.
shifts. When it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
It's like when you feel it yourself, it's
Yeah.
one thing. But when other people like close to us, they're like, actually, there is something different about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And it's so amazing because I have this show, it's one person show, and in the show I have this line about I was tracking someone I knew I could be, but I'd forgotten how to find. And it feels like that's, you could put that on your marketing material. Like that's what this has been. It's been like helping me hear the track back to myself all the time. And I've been doing that in like microcosm work, like literally like to the thing of like not even just automatically getting up in the morning and having a cup of coffee. Like some days I'm like, I actually don't want that. And I know that sounds so silly, but some days I'm like, am I doing this out of habit? Is
Mm,
it a good habit? And do I need to continue it? Even in like tiny, tiny things. Do you know what I mean? So it's been yeah, I think the other thing has been such a continuing journey as well. And I think also like the teacher part of my brain, Eugenia wants to name like somewhere where other people can see it, like how valuable like all your languaging is,
mm,
like the giving of the tools where like these are your this. Let's replace it with that. Like because as someone who's, you know, according to the them's neurodivergent, it's really valuable for me to have a tool I can return to, right? That it's not just we don't just talk through stuff and move through stuff. It's like, no, here's a worksheet. Like here, I
mm,
took the notes. Here you go. And so that's been incredibly valuable. And I just want to name that as
mm.
well.
It's so,
Um,
so beautiful.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
I truly believe that it's like in my work, it's not only right here in the moment that we do the healing, which is obvious, but it's actually, I want to empower you to feel confident. No matter what happens in life, you have the tools to come back to and
Yeah,
deal with the situations.
absolutely. And I think, and I'm very I'm not lucky. I work hard. Been very blessed this summer, this past few
Mm,
months, because I've been working with Eugenia. I also been working with other women's spaces. And again, I'm not only solely a women's worker. It's just been the season I'm in at the moment. And um, there's I had a situation at my job the other day
mm,
where past me would have been like somebody said something slightly off color, and past me would have gone so panicky and shaky out of like rage, actually. And I was still very angry, but I could not, and yet I could feel myself like it almost felt like there was like a veil around me. And I was like, no, no, that you've, in a way, I was like, you've just exposed yourself in a way. I'll
mm,
wait. I'll wait till the dust settles, both in you and in me. And the
mm,
facilitator of the discussion came around because it was my turn. And I said, no, I'm too hot right now. I'll pass. And you could feel everybody in the room just being like, oh, it's that simple. And in my head, I was like, it is that simple. But also, this is months of intense work you're wasting. Yeah. It took
yes.
6 fucking months for me to be able to go, I'm just going to sit for a minute. formulate formulate like a very adept. I was able to let the thing rise and hold it without judgment, put
Mm.
it down, and then say what I actually wanted to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm saying I don't want people watching this or when you use it, like my job is my job. I care deeply because I'm a teacher. It's just, it's not my whole identity. It's just that's been the most immediate example
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
of this. But yeah, I feel it. I feel the work most deeply, honestly, in the quiet moments, Eugenia, when I'm like I said, here in the shower or just living, I feel it most deeply then. Um, However, it is nice to have like a big like a bumper sticker example that's like, oh, but this happened and it was also magical. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
quite a skill to find magic in most unlikely situations,
Yeah. I
moments.
like that language. I might borrow that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, Nix, tell me, what do you feel is possible now that wasn't possible before?
Ah, everything. No, I feel, no, I feel like, and this is tender to say, but I have had such a tumultuous relationship with my body.
Mm.
And it has been, and it still rears its head every so often. I think it'll be an ongoing journey for me. But it's been beautiful to not be like looking at myself in a reflection all the time or like constantly fidgeting in meetings or even just like walking around in London. Do you know what I mean? Like to be able to just live my life as I'm living it. And I don't want to sound too cheesy, but that's what it feels like I am it's possible for me to hear where my life is trying to take me because I'm not consumed by the distractions of my programming. Um, and actually, it's almost more possible because I can recognize when the programming is just like, like, I don't know, sometimes when you open like Instagram or something and the volume's really loud and suddenly you're like, ah, that's what it feels like now when that thought comes. I'm like, where did this come from? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, I don't take it as truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so what feels possible is like it feels like I can actually move forward. But again, in a very anti-colonial way where I'm not like, I have healed my father wound and everything is fine. It's just like, no, it's just I have tools now. I've got things I can do, move that shit out of the way. And it's been really, yeah, I don't know how to articulate it. It's been big yet quiet, if that makes any,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I so love this like big yet quiet because like not everything is like really loud and it's like, oh yeah, okay. But actually some things they're sitting there inside of you quietly but making like a big impact.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because I think so I was in uni in like 2006, 2010, and that's when a lot of this my body image stuff happened when I was younger, but that's when it was really loud like for me. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I was thinking about it the other day. And I think part of it's because the fashions are coming back, which is like wild. But I think I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, but that was the era of like the revenge body and all of that kind of stuff. And all of these things about all of this rhetoric about healing became about someone else. It became about a response to someone that had hurt you. And I think there's still a tint of that in a lot of wellness spaces now. Do you know what I mean? That like, oh, you can hate yourself essentially into a better life. And it's been such a beautiful reckoning. I mean, I've known this in my heart for a long time. You can't hate yourself into a better life, but it's been really beautiful to work with actually. And this is a sticky thing to admit how much hate I've been carrying around for myself for such a long time. And to realize like that's not the way. Like I know that's not the way. I know that's not the way, but allowing myself to step into a new way has been really like just beautiful and healing in itself, right? And nobody has to know that. I don't have to look any different for me to become any different. Um, and that's been really like such a stunning yet quiet, you know what I mean? Quiet, a quiet realization actually. Um, yeah, yeah, really special.
Oh my God, thank you so much for your vulnerability and being so
Yeah,
open. It's so, so lovely.
yeah, of
So,
course.
Nix, what would you say to some of the women who are considering, or maybe people, because
Yeah.
I'm not working only with women, but what would you say who's considering um, to take a leap of faith and jump into our work, or who is unhappy or feeling stuck
Mm.
right now, what would you say to them?
I would say so that word stuck, I absolutely love. I hear it a lot from students. They say, "Oh, I can say, oh, what brought you to this program?" So I'm
Mhm.
stuck. My brain is disconnected from my body. And then my response is always, well, you're not like a disembodied head. Like you didn't float in here and your body come like Frankenstein running after you. Like we are never stuck. It's an illusion of stuckness
Mm,
because the body's always moving, right? And I think that sometimes when we feel stuck, it's actually so much going on inside of us, but we don't know where to put it. We don't have anywhere to put it. And I think actually that's a huge cry to invite somebody else in to help you massage that stuckness out.
mm,
Um, so I think if you are feeling stuck and feeling like intuitively called to working with you, that I would go for it. It's also, I think, something if people are in a place where they are vulnerable about working with another person, I think that is also something really valuable of working with you, because I know this from my work, like real healing comes in the meeting, right? You have to find the right person.
yeah.
And I think that's part of it. And there's something about, like I said, first right off the gate, like it's the relationship. It's the relationship between healer and healed that does the healing. Because actually, what you're doing is you're showing your body that there are people it's okay to do this thing with. And I think, I've healed in so many levels with working with you because
Mm,
my body needed the model. Does that make sense? Of like, oh,
yeah.
you can do this with other person. Um, and I think also I would say to people like it's an investment, and it's an investment that your body will tell you if you are ready for. Does that make sense? Like when you are ready for it. Because it was this thing where, and again, not to be too woo about it, but I am like for me, the finances and the timing aligned like absolutely perfectly. So I
Mm,
think to like listen to that part as well. Like if you feel like this, I need this, if your body's going yes, to allow themselves to find a way to make that happen. And
mm,
it feels scary depending on your relationship with finance, but I think that there's not but and I think the stepping into that space of this is an investment in my future. I knew that from the beginning. I remember saying that to my husband. I was like, this is an investment in my future and therefore in our future.
mm,
Um, that was really special. And also, I guess my last one would be like, you don't have to have a part, you don't have to be single for this to work. Like, actually, like, it's been a really stunning thing for me to have space that's just for me and me. And Aaron is, of course, reaping the benefits, but like, but it doesn't, in a way, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's an extra bit of extra. This has
mm,
been just completely solely for me in a lot of ways. And I think a lot of women, I think people, it does feel like there's some women stuck in this chunk though at the moment, this moment in time that
mm.
we've never been shown or told or even talked about. That intimacy with the self is the key to everything else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, thank you so much for sharing your journey with me
yeah.
and
Thank you
the
for
viewers.
asking.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure, and it's been absolutely incredible working with you and seeing you blossom and moving through things, even when they were uncomfortable, and you just championed that space like true committed person to yourself, which is absolutely incredible to see. And thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my guidance.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Thank you for opening the door. It's just
Mm,
you have such a gift. This is I feel like the other thing is like this is clearly your work. Like this is clearly the work you're here as a person to be doing. So I think it's important that
mm.
people know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you blossoming even more.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, incredible. I will stop recording